This is the trading review for the 25th of March. No, 25th of April, 2022. And it was a very difficult day. I took 4 trades, the max amount of trades, but I lost focus. My first trade was at 10:10, around 10:10, and I was looking at AMD, and it was an outside day according to the pivot points, but we opened just around R4 and we sold off. I mean, we sold to the top side, so we opened, we sold off to this level, and once we reclaimed that level, we shoot up to 91.30. So I didn't have a nice entry per se. The only thing that I could do was an entry at the retest of the R4 level. So after I missed my entry, I was looking for a long on AMD, and we tested this central pivot point on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. You can see we tried to break out, but sold off. But now we didn't even go down to the central pivot point. We regained R4 once again, and I wanted to make an entry here at 10:06, but I missed it. We pulled back below the R4 level. We closed a 1 minute candle like this. We tried to push through VWAP. We sold off, but I saw that the price action was respecting the R4 level. We were making higher highs, and we had a bullish 5 minute candle here after we rejected the central pivot point twice. So I was very bullish, and we didn't really have a lot of stacks on the level 2, but nonetheless, I took it as soon as we broke up the next 1 minute candle and the next 5 minute candle, and it worked for a little bit. I think we got to 1 hour maybe at best. No, it was 20 cents. So yeah, we kind of got to 2 hour, but we sold off immediately. And my mistake here was that we rejected VWAP. So if we didn't regain VWAP with strength, then that means that we're gonna sell off and try to hunt for more shares. So that's what happened. I let it run to my max loss for which is fine. That's what max losses are for. That's what stop losses are for, so that you can prevent from doing this. From It's reasonable to have a stop loss. So after it failed to break from VWAP, I let it run to my stop loss. It tested the central pivot point one more time, and then it pushed through the R4 level, and you can see on the 5 minute, like, I didn't have an opportunity to make an entry really. Maybe from VWAP, but my setups are from the R4 level. So we pushed with this candle with a lot of volume, and then we didn't retest this level, so I didn't have a nice entry here, and which is fine. You don't get to get good entries on all the stocks that move, and that's fine. So that's my first trade, and I'm gonna grade it now. I think it was a B setup. So we did have a 5 minute break. We did have a 1 minute breakdown. We did not have stacks on the level 2, or they were too far. We didn't get that much volume, so that's the problem. We did not add, no. so so because we didn't have a good volume signal and not a lot of stacks on the level 2 up at the ask, this ended up being a B trade, which is fine. uh, you cannot wait for all the signals to appear sometimes like today, but that's an okay trade. One thing that should have kept me away from it, this is an outside day, and AMD was bearish, but it was confirmed bullish, so it's bullish. We open outside, so this trade was a 1 minute breakout, but it was too difficult to time. And then so for the future, one thing that I can be careful of is making an entry on a candle that has long wicks, because it's a lot of testing, it's a lot of indecision. So you want an entry after confirmation. So an entry here with this big engulfing candle could have been good, but it's a little bit far from our level that we want to enter at. So yeah, we missed that. We missed that trade. The market when we shrank, so that's my first trade, anyways. And then I did something very stupid. I didn't. I didn't take any other trade because nothing was manifesting. But when I came again for my second session at around after 1 p.m. The recording for when I took this trade is not available because I leaked some information accidentally, so I had to delete the video, and I cannot take the trade again. So that's unfortunate. But here I did something very stupid. We rejected R4 strongly. We approached the R3 level, but I didn't let it settle. And the reason I didn't let it settle because I was afraid of missing on the trade, because you can see that it took from what, 9:30, 10:30, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It took like 3 hours and a half, more than 3 hours and a half, for me to take the next trade. So it's a lot of pressure to just. It's very hard to stay away and not take bad trades. So I lost my lost my sense of judgment and didn't wait for the stock to consolidate. Here you can see that if I had waited, I would have seen that the stock was simply regaining strength and it was heading back up. So I could have avoided this entry if I had waited for the stock to settle after this extension. But the thing is that I wanted to make money, and I lost my head after I got this loss. I was at max loss, so I should have ended the day here after 2 trades, but I didn't want to accept it. I saw that the stock was very weaky. You can see that after the minute after I got stopped, the stock fell down again, and it dropped a little more to 88.60. So that's just emotionally, that affected me a lot. I let it affect me a lot. So I made my entry here. I wasn't even waiting for the 1 minute to break down, and I got stopped out here with a lot of slippage. Well, not a lot of slippage, with well, actually yes, with a lot of slippage. Both these trades had a little bit of a slippage, so that adds up, and then we drop again. So emotionally, this was very very bad for me. And then you can see the stock bounce back up again. So after that, I was done with AMD. Luckily, we didn't remove our stop loss today. So you can see here that AMD is just bouncing between the R3 level and R4 level. And that's just unfortunate. So those 2 trades were failure trades, really. They were short. They were an outside day, so that should have kept me away. So 88 minus 1.2. So this is awful. This is what we want to stop. So on this, the rule I broke was that no 1 minute break, no 5 minute breakdown, and the not wait for consolidation. So there's like 2 rules or 3 rules broken. Same for this one, same behavior. So that's bad. But again, I am learning. So I took another trade. I was more calm. I was paying more attention. I was focused. I don't know why my brain wants to take losses before getting back on track. But anyways, I was looking at Apple. The market was very bullish, and Apple was correlating with the market. We didn't have that. We didn't have stacks. But we had some volume, and we were respecting the S3 level. Apple was an inside day. So on Apple, what I did is, this is my last trade. So on Apple, I missed my entry on the 5 minute breakout. We had the curling movers, we had the moving averages curl up and crossing. So that was a very good signal. And I made my entry. I wanted to make my entry here for 18 cents as stop loss, 15 cents stop loss, which is very good return, very good RBR. But I missed my entry. So because I know it was a good setup, I decided to make an entry on any kind of pullback. And I saw that we were buying up every time we tried to touch the S3 level. So this is an entry on this setup, but this entry was made on a pullback because I had a lot of confidence that we will run up because of the amount of volume and where we were getting it. So we were getting a large candle volume here, so I made my entry and we run up immediately. We stalled a little bit at S2, but we ended up running up, took my first partial here, and then the market sold off a little bit, and maybe I knew it could like retest this right here. So I decided to see what was happening, and I saw that we were dropping below the 20 moving average, and we closed below the 9 at 20. So I decided that, you know what, if we close below the VWAP, that means I just have to get out. So as soon as we started to drop below VWAP with a lot of volume, I decided to get out, and it was a good decision because this tested my stop loss. So it will have it will have reduced the amount of return I had on this trade. So it was a good decision on my part. And then it pulled back with strength, but then it dropped back again. So this right here at the moment, it was untradeable. Oh, what did I do? Oh. So after I got stopped out, it became untradeable for a little bit. It was just going back and forth. And then you can see here, it did end up dropping to the S3 level. Tried to shoot up and dropped. So it was a lot of volatility. We ended up consolidating on the 1 minute a little bit here. and then we broke out at around 110, but you can see it was not very clean trading. And after that, we ended up shooting up to my original target, which was I was expecting a run at least to the previous day close when I made my first entry here. So it's very unfortunate that everything was just too volatile, and again I had to wait for another hour to see this opportunity. But you saw on the 1 minute that at 14:10, at 2:10, uh, you could not really make an entry here. So it was very difficult to trade. But yeah, it is what it is. Fortunate that this trade didn't work the way I wanted it to, but it helped us reduce the deficit on the daily hours. So that's a very good trade. Um, it's a it's a big trade because I didn't have the entry when I wanted to have it. I entered on a pullback. This is an inside day. Apple was bearish. We open inside the range. We had 1.5, so that's very good. No. No. I think we recover. It's an entry on a pullback, so that's okay. So it's a B trade. So those are the 4 trades that I took. A lot of improvement. Today was a very rough day, and it took a lot to stay away from taking bad trades, and I failed at that. But I think I improved a lot. I didn't remove my stop loss, so that's a big plus. And I ended up taking the one good trade that I saw. So that's it for the trades that I took. I'm gonna do the daily review next and try to think of something to improve tomorrow. Mm, uh, yeah, hopefully the market's also gonna take it a little easier on us. So that's it. I'll do the daily review next.